Hello everybody and welcome to the return of Esports Wales Weekly. Now, I am Jakey Boy Pro, I am the streaming manager here at Esports Wales, and I am joined by two lovely people. First you can see, obviously, is Kieran down in that bottom right hand corner. Kieran, give yourself a quick bit of an introduction for everyone watching at home. Kieran, sorry about that. You should be able to hear yourself and hear me now. Give yourself a quick bit of an introduction for everybody at home. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Let's get these technical glitches out the way early. So my name's Kieran, like you said. I'm a director at Esports Wales. I'm also a director of the Save Point Gaming Centre in Blackwood. I've been a TO for the Smash community in Cardiff between 2015 and 2016, which included one Insomnia and one King of the North tournament. Primarily an Xbox One player, but also like RPG, RTS and strategy games.
And now, Fuquan, give yourself a little bit of an introduction for everybody at home.
Hello, I'm Fuquan. I'm a writer here at Esports Wales. I've been here for about a year now. I play for the Cardiff Crusaders esports team. I'm the captain of the Overwatch team there for the Stardust Crusaders. And yeah, I love playing Overwatch.
I mean, I think we all know that here at Esports Wales. You are one of the big advocates for the Overwatch scene within the community, and it's great to have you both here. It's great to have this returning, but we might as well delve straight into the action, and I believe Kieran's got a bit of FIFA news, which is red here coming out of Esports Wales, although it may not be Esports Wales based. Kieran, take it away.
So I mean, kind of my one story of the week this week is, firstly, I'd like to congratulate Ammon AFC on hosting what was a very successful, very exciting all-Wales community FIFA tournament, but also to Sam Lahome for outplaying the other 127 players to win the competition. He's since been picked up by the Welsh national football team to play alongside international and FC Schalke footballer Rabi Matondo. They've been playing in a lockdown tournament against other FIFA nations, and I know they've kind of got to the quarterfinals, and kind of I want to keep an eye on that. But generally, I just think this is a really good story, because this is a guy that before the lockdown was just playing goalkeeper for his local club team, kind of grinding, going to training, playing kind of in your Saturday games, and now he's been thrust in the space of this lockdown onto the national stage, and I think it's just an amazing story.
That is actually amazing to hear that he's now playing for this international team, and he's worked his way up from almost being a nobody to playing on the international stage, which, I mean, Fuquan, you probably, you were close to doing that at one point, I think, if I remember correctly. Weren't you close to playing for the national Overwatch team? Maybe?
I'm not sure. No? I don't think so.
Oh,
well,
maybe not then. My memory is terrible either way, but it's a great start. It's always good to hear of some nice things that are going on in the strange situation that we find in. But another thing that has happened is one of our own, Welsh Boone, who is the Chief Creative Officer and also the CSGO Game Manager for Esports Wales, has been partaking in an online tournament himself, and I think Fuquan's going to be able to tell you a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Welsh Boone, Chief Creative Officer, participated in the virtual Betfred World Snooker Championship. I think it was a few weeks back, but it's they were broadcast the other day. And he started up a community a while ago called Snooker Hub Live with the Welsh Dad for Snooker 19, which became one of the most popular and active communities. Then they worked really closely with the developers, and then the opportunity arose, and they invited him to become part of the they invited him to the tournament to take part along with the best PS4 players. So last 16 quarterfinals, both best of threes. Boone, playing as David Gilbert, took on the first match versus Sperin147, playing as the infamous Ronnie O'Sullivan. First frame, Welsh Boone didn't go too well for him. A few loose shots combined from a few good ones from his opposition saw him take the first game 1-0 down. But all was not lost, as second frame saw Boone took his chance and make a 90 break and then make the score even with 1-1. Final frame lay more on the uneasy side with a lot of safety play, but eventually an opportunity revealed itself for Boone, and he took that first game 2-1. Post-match, I believe, David Gilbert, the man who Boone was playing as, sent him a congratulatory message, which I think we can show you quickly if we can just pop that up on the screen.
Hi Dylan, how you doing, mate? Well played today, great win. Me and Taylor just want to wish you all the best for the rest of the tournament. Hope you go all the way. All the best, pal.
Yeah, that was absolutely lovely from him. It was a bit unexpected, but I mean, not going to say no to a little shout out to Boone there. Either way, so Boone went on to his second match, saw his opponent against Halborn 13. Similar story to before, Boone's nerves got to him a bit, and he sadly lost the first game against a very good opponent, and then gets onto the second frame. It was a much longer story with 48 minutes. It was a big boy. Yeah. So as the match was drawing to a close, Boone unfortunately missed a yellow where the only colours remained, and then the yellow was stuck by the pocket, providing Halborn with the opportunity to clear up and unfortunately take the game 2-0. And then Halborn went on to lose 3-2 in a best-of-5 in the semi-finals. And then the final of the entire tournament is coming up on Monday at 10 a.m.
Well, yeah, I know Boone loves his snooker, and he loves the virtual game as well. I've heard from himself that he's nowhere near as good in real life as he is on the actual video game. But hey, that's what video games are for. They're supposed to make you feel a little bit about your better about your skills that may not be as applicable in real life. Like, I can go and play FIFA. I couldn't run that distance in real life. So yeah, it's always great to hear. Has anyone, Kieran, you got anything to say on that in regards to Boone, congratulating him? Congratulations from me, obviously, as well, but...
Yeah, I mean, congratulations on kind of getting as far as you did. I was a little bit disappointed that kind of they didn't have him playing as Mark Williams, kind of international Welsh superstar. I would have seen the Welsh link, I would have given him a Welsh player, and then we could really, as a nation, kind of got behind both the player and kind of the avatar.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it was, from what I hear from Boone, it was drawn out of a hat, so he didn't really have a say in the actual whole thing, so he got stuck with, what was his name? David Gilbert? David Gilbert, yes. He got stuck with David Gilbert, and he played the best to his ability, but unfortunately, he goes out to Halborn 14, who now is being played who actually lost in the semi-finals, and the final is on Monday at 10 AM. So thank you for that, Fuquan, much appreciated. And next, we're going to talk about some ESEA results. It was a while ago since we had any of this going on. It was probably about January. Was it January? Yeah, January, I think the first ESEA season we took part in actually happened. But now we've got two teams taking part in this season, season 34, Team Yar and Team Tan. Team Yar on Monday took their first game 16-0 against We're the Worst, which is an absolutely phenomenal start for them. Couldn't have expected anything better than them, couldn't have got anything better from them, so that's a great start for them indeed. Next off, Team Tan, they faced off on Tuesday against Hydra. That was actually should have been their first game, but due to some nationwide internet issues, there was nothing that could be done, and that game was played on the Tuesday as opposed to the Monday. 16-6, another great start for both of the teams. Both teams were 1-0 up at this point, up until both Team Yar and Team Tan fall going into their second game. Team Yar only getting 4 rounds against the 16 of AAB Academy, who's their team actually had some players from the ESEA main, which is a step above, in fact 2 steps above the ESEA Open. You've got the ESEA Open, which is open to anyone, the ESEA Inters, which is the second league, and then ESEA Main, which is the main league of ESEA. And the academy team, as it says, had some of the main players on, so they can't take that as a hard loss. And then Team Tan putting up a bit more of a fight than Team Yar did, losing 9-16 against 5 aces. I think that is it from ESEA for now. We do have some more looking forward into the next week, some more news. And I think I'm going to throw over to Kieran just quickly so he can tell you about our giveaway that we're going to be having this week.
Yeah, awesome. So I drew the good straw, I think, when it came to the giveaway. So I'm really excited to announce that every weekend in May, so kind of the 5 shows that we've got coming up, including this one, we'll be giving away a prize to our fantastic subscribers. After all, it is you guys that allow us to continue investing in Esports Wales, developing content, developing community activities, and developing events. This week, we'll be giving away an Esports Wales jersey, which can be personalised just for you, so the winner will be able to kind of contact us, and we'll be able to kind of put gamer tags, real names, kind of whatever you want on that jersey. To get involved, you'll need to wait until you see the raffle go live in chat, which should be any moment. And what you'll need to do is type in the command, which is !raffle, to enter. You can only enter once, and only if you're an Esports Wales subscriber on Twitch. Anyone, however, with an Amazon Prime account will be able to subscribe for free. They'll just need to link their Amazon accounts with Twitch to unlock Twitch Prime. Everyone who does that gets 1 free sub a month, which we hope that you'll use with us, but there's so many great streamers out there. We won't be offended if you don't. You also get loads of kind of Prime loot to use in your games. So kind of the giveaway is going to be open for probably roughly about half an hour. So you've got some time that if you do need to kind of go and see if you can link your accounts together. And the winner will be announced kind of in that half an hour before the end of the show.
Yeah, so if you do want to get involved, make sure you are subscribed to Esports Wales. I've just seen Reaper Steve, who is actually a caster for ourselves. He's tried entering. Unfortunately, it is only for subscribers, Steve, so if you don't want to drop that $4.99, that's fine, we understand, but it makes us helps us improve the grassroots scene of Esports Wales. And now, actually, we have another quick announcement. Well, I say quick, it's a big announcement. It's going to be our one of our national squads, the first of our national squads. So this is going to be the Overwatch team. We do have Nox. He is waiting in the background, not just yet. Shortly, you'll be coming on, Nox, to hopefully answer a few questions. But this is the team that we have so far. I was speaking to Shades this morning because he is on the show a little bit later to talk about something else, and he had no idea about the national squad. So I think he's in chat, and he will have seen this. So we've got McMagic, Marv, Shades, Ender, and Destitious. Or I don't think he's called Destitious. He didn't like it when we were having those games cast being called Destitious. But that is the start of our national Overwatch squad. So I think now we're going to be bringing Nox on to answer a few questions about how he came to pick the players that he has done so far. So, Nox, hello, welcome. Oh, not seem to be getting audio from you. 1 second.
Right, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Hey, great. Yeah, thanks for having me, Jakey.
No worries. It's glad to have you here. So tell everybody a little bit about what you do within the EsportsWales organisation.
So within EsportsWales, I generally tend to focus on building up the national team. That's pretty much been the biggest responsibility for me so far, especially since I'm a relatively new member to the organisation, having joined at the start of this university year.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to open up the questions for you here, Nox. How did you come to choose these first few players that you have for the national squad? Obviously, we held the EsportsWales Open, and that's where some of these players have come from.
Yeah. So, as you mentioned, there have really been two parts to the selection so far. One of them was the EsportsWales Open, obviously, where I looked at team performance, team play, and individual performance of players, and selected Destitious and Ender, since I found their performances quite interesting. Otherwise, I have also looked at Welsh players that didn't necessarily take part in the Open, but have displayed strong qualities or have been recommended to me. For example, this includes Shades, who I've seen communicate and lead teams very well in the University Overwatch series, and also McMagic Marv, who seems to have a high degree of skill and a high level of competency.
Yeah, now obviously Fuquan himself took part in the EsportsWales Open, so I'm going to throw it over to him for this next question to ask yourselves.
I can confirm that Destitious, whatever his name is, he was a very scary player to play against. But were there any other kind of standout players for you from the tournament?
Oh yeah, definitely. Ender himself, although his team didn't perform as well as Destitious' B-Boys, who ended up winning, I think Ender performed admirably well, and I was actually really keen to get him onto the squad. He also piqued my interest because I haven't actually seen him take part in other tournaments such as Open Division. I've encountered Destitious during scrims and matches for my own team in Open Division, and I've seen his performance there. But Ender I have not seen on the competitive circuit, and his performance actually really interested me because I think he's a really strong contender for the DPS spot on the actual final team.
Oh, well, that's certainly interesting to hear. And now I think Kieran has the next question for you now, Nox.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm quite interested in the process. So I mean, we've seen that of the squad, we've seen 4 players announced. I'm just curious, really. So how are you planning on kind of filling in kind of the final spaces, and then kind of maybe some subs and maybe some reserves, so if people aren't able to compete when, say, international games are going on?
Yeah, so ideally over the next few weeks, I would be opening the team to public trials. This would really enable me to set up 12-man internal scrimmages where we could have 2 teams of 6 practice against each other, and I could evaluate how different players interact with each other, how they perform individually, and really give them a chance to show off how they perform in a stressful environment. Obviously, I understand that having that many high-tier players is not always realistic, especially to have all of them from Wales. So at the very least, I'm looking to have 8 or 9 players to rotate around in scrimmages against other high Tier 3 Overwatch teams.
Well, yeah, you obviously need all of those different players to be able to interact with each other and figure out where the best strengths all merge together. But my next question for you, Nox, is what are the sort of things that you were looking for when you were actually going through the EsportsWales Open footage and looking for the potential players for this national squad?
Right. So obviously, how players perform at an individual level is really important, because having a strong core squad that can perform well individually, regardless of how the team fight has evolved, really gives them an edge. Beyond this, how a player actually fits in with the rest of their team is also really important, how they communicate. And on top of that, how strong their attitude and mental fortitude is during team fights. Because it's no good when you have someone who's really negative, who starts to lose their consistency during a team fight that they're losing because they're starting to get mad. Obviously, having someone who's much stronger mentally enables them to keep their head up, keep the focus on, and eventually win matches and maps.
So, Kieran, I think this is going to be the last question towards you, Nox, and you've been great so far. But Kieran, you've got the the last question that is going to be on the lineup for today.
Okay, so I guess if someone is looking to potentially put their name in for, say, the kind of the squad rotation or the scrimmages that you've mentioned, I'm just interested in what kind of skill level are you looking for, and how would they be able to kind of put their hands up and kind of really shout, saying, "Hey, I'm looking for selection here"?
So at the very least, I'm looking for Grandmaster or about 4,000 skill rating players. However, people who are lower than this, so I would say mid to high masters as well, are very welcome to apply, because I understand that the competitive ladder and skill rating system doesn't always reflect how well a player performs in a competitive, stressful team environment. Some people who don't queue with lots of friends or don't spend a lot of time in comp might still have the attributes that we're looking for on the team. So I feel like being slightly lower than Grandmaster shouldn't really deter players from applying. Obviously, previous team experience is also preferred because it demonstrates players' willingness to compete and their ability to improve. But this is just something that's nice to have, not required either. So again, it's anyone that's mid to high master and believes they have a strong mindset that should really apply.
Well, that's I think that's going to be everything from you, Nox. That is the wrong scene. That is not your name. That is your name. There we go. Thank you very much for coming on and talking to us, and I'm very excited to see what can hopefully come of the rest of the players that we do eventually fill up that squad with. And once again, thank you very much from myself. Thank you very much from EsportsWales, Nox, and hopefully we'll see you again very soon.
Yep, thank you, Harry.
So, I think the next section is going to be a little bit of uni and college news coming from Slayer John himself. This is a pre-recorded segment, but we kind of made it seem a little bit seamless. So, John, you're more than welcome to take it away.
Thanks for that, guys. Gotta say, I am loving the show at the moment. If anyone doesn't know me, my name is John. I'm one of the directors of EsportsWales. So I'm going to give you kind of a bit of an update on the educational esports scene in Wales. So the first thing we're going to get into is the uni scene. So we're going to be talking about the NSE, which has about 100 universities involved in it. These are the games which are sort of the tournaments are used. So it's a summer and winter split. The games which are played are CSGO, Dota, FIFA, Hearthstone, League of Legends, Overwatch, Rainbow Six, Rocket League, Smash Singles, Smash Teams, Tekken, and PUBG Mobile. So it's a great mix of different games that people can get involved in the university scene. If you are good at these scenes and in the university, definitely check out your esports society, because getting more players and more teams in sort of boosts these universities up. So the way it works is this point-based system. Depending on where you sort of place in the tournament and how many tournaments you play in, you'll get extra points, and then that boosts you up into the league. So our top team in Wales is Swansea University with 659 points in a 20th place. So they're not far off. There's still room for improvement, but they're doing quite well. So we've got Cardiff University with 331 points in 45th place. We have Aberystwyth University on 253 points in 51st place. We have Bangor University on 290 points on 49th place. We have Wrexham University on 74th on 58 points. And we have, it's a bit disappointing for me because this is the university I went to. We have the University of South Wales, 93rd with 3 points. I think that was a Smash one of the Smash games which they entered and got some points there. So there's definitely room for improvement in some of the universities, and hopefully we can sort of help that out. In regards to some of the other news from the sort of university scene, you've got to say that Swansea University, they've just had a nice rebrand, so definitely check that out on their Twitter and stuff. The Swansea Storm, there's a new logo with a swan and stuff. It looks really great. I got a sort of thumbs up to the developers and the team who sorted that out, because that looks quite sweet. So moving on, we've got the college scene. So slightly different to the university scene with the NSC. The college scene is the tournament which most of them play in is called the British Esports Championships. Now, with the British Esports Championships, the way it works is you enter the teams of 3 games. Those 3 games are League of Legends, Overwatch, and Rocket League. Now, you're entered into groups, and it's sort of like a round robin. You play each other in the group, and then what happens is the first place gets into playoffs, and then it's a knockout stage in playoffs to the finals. So not every college entered a team for every game, but it didn't do too bad. So if I start with League of Legends, Ladino Dragons League team, they ended up 2nd place in Group G, just missing out on playoffs, so well done to them. Merthyr Mountains finished, unfortunately, last place in Group B. Unfortunately, that's a team which I help manage in Merthyr, so it's disappointing there, but we'll work on the league side, and we'll try and get that sort of built and sorted for next season. The Overwatch, if we move on to Overwatch, we named this the Group of Death, Group D, because it was 3 Welsh teams last season. So there was Gower College, Swansea 2, Merthyr Mountains, and Llandudno Dragons. Gower College finished 2nd place, Merthyr Mountains finished 3rd, and Llandudno Dragons finished 5th place in the group. So it was some good games between us. One of the games we managed to get streamed, I think that was the Llandudno Dragons, if I remember correctly. I may be wrong. No, actually, I think it was the Gower College versus Merthyr. So that's on our Twitch, and it might be on our YouTube as well. So definitely check that out. And if you want to see more college stuff, hopefully we can bring that to you next season. So moving on to the next group, which was Group E. Gower College Swansea won that group. Unfortunately, they got through to playoffs, but unfortunately they got knocked out during the playoffs. College Gwent ended up, they finished last in Group E. So unlucky there, guys, but next season, keep building. We've got Rocket League. Merthyr Mountains finished 4th place in Group D, and College Gwent finished 4th place in Group E. Now, some of the other things which I wanted to cover in the sort of educational esports scene is one thing which you guys might have seen on Twitter is a Pearson BTEC course, introducing that. Now that's like a governing sort of examination body, so that potentially might mean you might be seeing a few more courses popping up in Wales for esports side. Also, Belong Arenas are doing something similar, which is trying to push a PSEC. So now I don't know if these two are linked at the moment, but having that connection and having this coming forward from an examining body just shows how esports is growing, and I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing more of these now popping up in the colleges around Wales. So if you are wanting to get involved in sort of esports, I know the Gower College runs a esports course, and so does Gwent, the Katanas. They run an esports course as well. I think Llandudno is looking at doing the same. I can't remember if they have started it yet. So if you are in those areas and you fancy a career in esports, definitely check them out. So the other thing I wanted to bring up with the college scene is I know the Katanas, the Gwent, they're doing some extra stuff from the students there. So they're putting out some great content. So check out, drop a follow on their Twitter, and you'll see some of the sort of stuff they're streaming right now. Also, if you check out if you check out the Gower College Swansea, the Owls, they're doing some more stuff, so check out their Twitter. That's doing some great stuff coming out there. Also, congratulations to Mr. Sneaky. because he won the Smash Bros Hot Shots tournament. So great job there. There's a blog post on our website where you'll be able to see a sort of an interview from which he gave after winning the tournament. He won 3-1. I think he was playing Pac-Man. So yeah, it was a great job. It was I watched some of it back, and yeah, well played, man. So yeah, I'm going to throw it back to you guys. Yeah, great job so far. I can't wait to see what's coming next. Cheers all.
And we are back, so thank you very much, John, for that lovely and informative uni and college update. It's always great to, even now when there's not much actually going on with normal, regular uni and college leagues. Obviously, college no colleges and unis are operating right now, so there's not much that they can do bar online. Online only tournaments and leagues, but I feel like we should move on now to our next topic, which is going to be a big it's going to be a big thing because it's a big thing. Valorant. I don't know, Fuquan, how much you've played. I know Kieran hasn't played it himself. I haven't played it myself. I'm hoping you can offer a little bit of an insight as to what it is and how it is played.
I have played.
You have played. So, okay.
Fortunately, I played the game.
We're going to be bringing on Overwatch Shade shortly, who was one of the first, to my knowledge, in our community to get a drop. I can see you waving there, Shade. No one else can. You're just waving to me right now, okay? We're going to be bringing him on shortly because he's probably one of the ones who's, I'd imagine, probably put most of the hours into the game more than most other people within the community. So, Fuquan, as opposed to, like, you've played a little bit of CSGO in your time, I know that, I've seen you playing it. How different is it from CSGO to... what are the differences, the major differences?
I mean, as a kind of core gameplay, how it feels, especially coming from Overwatch, I've probably played about the same amount of CS as I have Overwatch in my time.
Yep.
But it feels a lot more like CS. I mean, the way the rounds, the tempo of it and stuff like that. But when it actually comes down to it, it's very interesting. It's CS with a twist, but it's not a gimmicky twist where it's just CS with Overwatch abilities strapped on top of it. The way it works is very they change the gameplay quite. It's enough of. Oh, losing words here. It makes a profound enough difference where it's noticeable and not just kind of like a little, here's a little ability that you can just do, like the movement and and things like that. And the abilities really do change it up quite a lot. I really like it.
Well, I remember when it first got teased by Riot under what was it called? Project A?
Yeah.
Yeah, when it first got teased as that, well over a year ago now, I think it was, the main comparison people made was that they thought it was going to be an Overwatch clone. And now it's come out into beta and people are playing it, they're playing, well, this is more like CSGO than it is Overwatch. A lot of people thought it was going to be the game that was going to come in and knock Overwatch off the perch for that sort of top esport in that genre of game, but it's quite clear that it's actually gone the opposite direction, and now it's trying to fight CSGO for that top perch on the FPS scene. But obviously it is still only in beta. Ranked only came out a few days ago, maybe the start of the week, can't remember exactly when. But yeah, I think because the knowledge is kind of lacking here, Fuquan being the only one with major knowledge, we are going to bring in Shades. Shades, are you ready? Give me a nod, I hope you are. Yes? Okay, that's a big nod coming in from Shades. So, Shades, welcome. Hello. How are you doing?
Oh, it's me. I'm doing very good. How's everyone doing?
I'm doing great. I think everyone else is doing fine. But, so, straight off, we're going to delve straight into it. Valorant has been all over the internet since it went into beta. Can you tell us how you managed to become one of the first in our community to actually be able to play the game?
So when Valorant, it came out early April. If I can remember, I think it was April 7th. They held an event where like a select group of streamers, pro players, and just content creators in general were given access to the game early. Like a week early, I think it was. But during that time, they were allowing to have drops enabled. Like you would get, say you play League of Legends, you watch a League of Legends stream, you get a chance for a shard drop or something. You watch Counter-Strike, you get a spray. It's the same thing they had with Valorant, where you have to watch a select streamer who was given the option to have drops enabled to get a chance to get a beta key. And the thing was, when it got announced initially, there was only 25,000 keys a region. So it was very, on April 7th, everyone was watching Valorant. I think it peaked at about 1 million concurrent viewers on Twitch. Like, mind-blowing stuff. It's unheard of for a brand new game, bar from when maybe Apex Legends released, but I don't think it was on the scale to what this game is. So then I, along with millions of people around the world, went and sat in good old Tim the Tatman stream, just casually sitting by. Didn't really think much about it. Didn't think I'd get a key. And then you get that little bell notification in the corner. I was like, oh, I've been gifted a sub to Tim the Tatman or something. And then it said, you've been given a chance for a beta key. And I think I ran around my back garden because, it was such a big thing to get a key. Considering there are loads of people I know now who still haven't got keys. And, the game's been out for about a month now. Just coming up to about a month, I think. So, it's very good. I'm kind of happy I got a key, and I got the chance to be able to pre-install the game and play it when it came out, and watch everyone else sit there and complain on Twitter and complain to me that I had a key.
Yeah, you did. I remember hearing off you not long after you got the key, and you did. You were very excited about it, but
I'm still excited to this day.
We're going to throw it over to Kieran now, who doesn't have a lot of background knowledge in PC-based FPS. So let's see what he has to ask you now.
So like Jake said, I'm not someone really who follows kind of FPS games, especially on PC. Like I said, I'm primarily a console player, but I guess there's going to be other similar people out there that are thinking, well, hang on, this is just another Counter-Strike game. This is more of the same. Why is it kind of different? And I guess, why is it such a big deal?
The main reason I feel, I understand when people look at it and they go, yes, it's essentially another Counter-Strike, but in big terms, when you get into the gameplay aspects of it and how it actually works, you'd understand that it is a complete game on its own. Yes, you could say it's just Counter-Strike with agents with abilities, which I'm sure we'll get on to later on. But it's a complete mixture of what I would put it as is a mixture of Overwatch, Counter-Strike, League of Legends, and maybe a bit of Apex as well. Apex was the sort of first game that was this FPS shooter with abilities that wasn't Overwatch. But I feel like it's just a mixture of all those things together, which what makes it sort of special in terms to everyone, because Counter-Strike, as wonderful as it is, it's the same game as it was 10 or so years ago. You just shoot people and it's the same sort of game. But with Valorant, they took like advice and stuff from pro players, from Counter-Strike, Overwatch, from League. They took all the advice from them and they made this game with all the information that they had, and it just makes it probably going to be really questionable up there with the big dogs of FPS games. In our day and age, it could easily compete with the likes of Counter-Strike, League of Legends at its biggest tournament stages, which is going to be really interesting to see when, we get these big, once the game comes out of beta, it'd be more refurbished, we get these tournaments going. It'd be really interesting to see how this is going to sort of elevate the esports scene as well as just the general gaming scene for people who don't really want to get into Overwatch or don't really want to play CS, but they get into Valorant. It's just going to be a very big, and it's going to be a hell of a game to see what happens to it.
I think Fuquan now has
I hope that answers.
I think it did more than enough. That answer, Shade. That was a very good response, actually. I've just seen a little message from Dynamo in chat. You just shoot people. What do you mean? But we're going to throw.
He's got a point.
I'm going to throw it over to Fuquan now for the next question.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. So, what is an agent?
Ooh, flustered.
And how
what
many
is an agent?
Have you tried?
Okay, so an agent is just technically a character that you play within the game. Oh god, I think there's 9 agents. Don't quote me on that. I don't actually know how many there are. I haven't counted them yet, but I've had the chance to play them all. With an agent is just sort of, it's like a character in a game. You play them, except each agent has its own different set of abilities. So take in terms of, there's a character called Jet. So Jet is sort of like this airborne wind-based sort of character who has abilities to use like balls of air to block off sections like you would a smoke in Counter-Strike. She has a passive dash ability, which she can just reset the more kills she gets in a round, so she can dash places really quickly. She also has an up thrust ability, so it launches her into the air for a short period of time, but she has a passive. If you don't know what a passive is, then it's going to be hard to explain, but it's sort of an ability that doesn't require any input. It's just something that's always there. So as in, so if you look at Overwatch, for example, if you look at a character, Brigitte, no one likes her, but her passive ability is just overpowered. If she just hits things, you may think she's just doing damage, but it procs her Aspire, which is a passive healing ability for a character. It's the same as every other character in the game. So as Raze as well, who recently had a nerf to her ability because she was overpowered as hell. Good thing they've done that, because they would have ruined the game if it came out. But she had a grenade that she could throw, which would split into 6 other mini pellets, which did damage over time. But it's really confusing when you look at it. Me saying this, it makes it seem like, how's anyone going to understand? But I understand, but it makes it the best. She every time she gets a kill or 2 kills, without using the grenade, it recharges her passives, and then she'll have the grenade again. So, it's sort of, each character has its own different abilities. There's like recon characters, which will get you vision in areas. There's characters that could be more aggressive, such as you can have knock-up effects and blinds. So Phoenix is a blind. You got Breach, you can just knock up characters and daze them for entry frags. Then you also have a healer in the game, such as Sage. So, if your team does get low, or you don't really want to take fights, being the health that you are, say you've just took a fight and you're like 10 HP and someone else is coming, you have that character to sort of heal you up. So agents really, it's going to be a select, you can play whichever one you really want to feel, but I feel like the more further we go down into this competitive scene, such as ranked that only came out 2 or 3 days ago, they will become like metas, as what you would get in Overwatch, where each team will require certain agents to be able to perform. But mainly I think it's just, you pick the one you like, play it, have fun with it. The game's in beta. Just go out there, have fun. Forget everything you know about ranked and whatnot, and just play the game for fun. That's the reality of what Valorant is at this point.
So yeah, that was a pretty good. Good explanation of what an agent is.
It's all written down on a notepad, but I'm ignoring everything.
I understood it, and I've never played it. So you were very close with 9 agents. It's actually 10. We're going to dock 10 points for you.
Oh,
no,
it's close enough.
Moving on to the next question. I did die a little bit in the middle of your explanation there, and I might just bring that image on screen at some point, just to.
Oh god.
Just to add a little bit of memeing to the show, but just quickly. I know you play a lot of Overwatch, and you've played some CSGO in your time. What has the skill transfer been between the games? Is the playstyle similar, or is there quite a bit of a difference?
That's a very good question. It's very similar in aspects such as Counter-Strike. You could play Counter-Strike for years and pick up Valorant, and you can, you'd be playing it as if you were playing Counter-Strike. So, it's still that sort of point-and-click shooter game, which everyone really wants. But if you were an Overwatch player such as me, my phone, sorry, you would have the sort of knowledge of ability usage and sort of just positioning in general, because positioning in Overwatch is key to winning fights and winning games. So, you can take aspects from every single game and you'd be able to perform really well in Valorant. It's just, like I said earlier on, it's just literally is a game that's combined of like 4 to 5 other games, like aspects from everything. So you could play, Counter-Strike, you can come in, you can shoot some people. You could play Overwatch, the abilities. You probably might not be good at aiming at people, but that doesn't really matter because you can use the abilities to your advantage. Maybe the other person on the other team won't quite understand what's going on. But same with as we were talking about Counter-Strike, you can't I've experimented quite a bit with this, but the spray patterns on guns aren't the same. They are different. So it's going to be a bit of a learning curve for people who are hard Counter-Strike players to come over and start playing Valorant, because obviously you're just going to want to start shooting people holding your gun down and using the same spray pattern as you would in Counter-Strike. But obviously that's not something that's going to be evident in Valorant. It's still a bit of a learning curve. I admit I'm still learning to a couple things, but I've got the quite gist of understanding on how the game works. So I feel like anyone from any other game could come pick up Valorant and have a good time and play it to a good standard and have fun. Yes.
Well, yeah, I think that's a very good explanation of the skill difference and transfer of between the different games that are quite similar to Valorant. And now I think the last question of this segment of Shades in the Hot Seat will be thrown over to Fuquan.
Oh,
hello again. So, is there any advice you'd give to someone who could potentially be looking at playing Valorant seriously enough with the hopes of becoming a pro?
So with this, I had to think really long and hard. Sound, a bit harsh to people, but I would say it as if I was saying it as if I was trying to go pro in Overwatch, which I am. It's you can go pro in any game you want as long as you have a passion and a desire to want to play that game at a professional level. Such as if I was to look at when I was a couple seasons ago in Overwatch, I was in gold and silver. But because I had a passion and desire to wanted to go pro, I put in the hours outside of playing the game. I learned more, and I eventually improved, and I'm now on a team who want to play at a high level. It's the same as Valorant. You can come in, you can play the game. You might not be a good player yet now, but if you have the passion and desire to want to go pro in Valorant, you will, you'll care about the game more. You'll want to put in those hours outside of the game to, learn, cool little boost spots, learn the spray recons on guns, use the, agent's abilities better. You will put that time in outside, and eventually you will start to see improvements. So it's like the same as every other game. You want to go pro, you have to want it. It has to be something that you want to sit down, wake up every day and go, yes, I want to play this game pro. But most importantly, as I wrote down in my notes, make sure to join the EsportsWales, because they want to put together a Valorant team. So, make sure to get in there, get on what you can, play with other people.
I like this interview. He does the plugs for me. I don't have to do it. He's done my job.
See, I've done this many times before. I know what to say in the right situations.
That was great. Absolutely great. Very much appreciate you being on here, Shades, and actually giving me quite an in-depth knowledge as to what Valorant is, because I've never played it. I've very reluctantly watched a few YouTube videos, but I actually understand it a little bit now, so thank you very much.
I'm glad I was able to share this information with you.
Thank you from myself, from EsportsWales, and that's it. You can go about the rest of your day. Thank you very much for coming on, Shades.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
See you later, dude.
See you, man.
So, I think now we should be close to finishing time for the raffle, so if there is anybody else in chat that would like to potentially get involved in the raffle, make sure you do get your subs in now. I'm not going to close it off just yet. I'm going to delay a little bit. I'm going to just... In fact, I forgot to play the video of Shades, so I'm gonna throw that on just to give everybody a couple of minutes. This is a little montage of Shades' Valorant skills, so just going to throw this on for everybody. I've just realised that I wasn't going out to master. I had to get that that little meme in at the end. Yep, I was talking. I forgot to turn my audio back on. Ignore me. I'm an idiot. It's okay. But now, I think we're going to close the raffle. And Shades, don't worry, that meme will be coming to you once we are done. So now the raffle is being closed. Entries are now closed. We have a total of... Oh, I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different people who have entered. If you have entered, good luck to you all. Sorry, say that again.
Is that definitely 9? Is it
yes,
definitely 9 now, or is it 10?
No, it's definitely 9. I can just about count. I've got just about 10 fingers. So I should hope I could count to 9. Right, so are we ready in chat? Are you all hyped up? I know I am. I'm ready. I'm ready to see who wins. I'm excited, man. It's the first one. Are we ready? Are we all ready? Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. And the winner is... well, this is a bit awkward. I didn't really want it to go into him. McCready, you have won an Esports Wales jersey. Please get in touch with us. McCready is one of our casters. He is currently doing the ESEA CSGO games for us, so very well done to you, McCready. I'm glad you are now able to cast for us in an Esports Wales jersey in about a month when it eventually gets to you. But yeah, there will be giveaways every week. Obviously not going to be as big as this one. We can't afford to give away Esports Wales jerseys every week. We'd be bankrupt in no time. But I think now we're going to be looking forward onto what's coming up in the following, in the next the next week before the next show. So, Kieran, do you want to hit us off with what's going on with the community nights this week?
Yeah, so as I can see on my screen, it says we have a MOBA Mondays. So MOBA Mondays, as you would assume, takes place every Monday, as it says on the screen. This week, I think I've been told that we'll probably be looking at League of Legends. And then on Friday, we have our FPS Friday, which is probably going to be looking at Valorant or CSGO. We are, as always, kind of looking for kind of community ambassadors to kind of help run our community nights. So if any of this kind of sounds of interest, please get in touch. But yeah, that's the two kind of main community nights for the week.
Yeah, obviously it's not going to be those every week. They are on a weekly basis, but we are looking at expanding and getting more community nights running, eventually getting like Rocket League Wednesdays or Racing Wednesdays for different games. There's a lot of things that we need to explore and we want to explore. It's just getting the people who are more than willing to come in and host those evenings and make them a fun time for everybody involved. So,
if we could get...
go ahead. Sorry.
If anyone's willing to kind of look at streaming or casting, if we could get some of those kind of community nights up and running, and have people willing to kind of almost take an observer view for that would also be awesome. Yeah,
so, Fuquan, what is the next national squad that we have, announcement that we have coming up for you next week?
Now, this is a fun one. I've got about 1,000 hours in this game, surprisingly, but I'm still awful. It's Rocket League.
Yeah, so obviously, well, the way we're doing it is we're following the same order that the Esports Wales Open went in. So Esports Wales Open opened with Overwatch. So then, obviously, we had Overwatch today. Next week, we've got Rocket League, then followed by Rainbow Six Siege, and then League of Legends, and then CSGO. So if you want to keep up with the national squads that we're going to be announcing over the next few weeks, make sure you do come and drop in on a weekly basis to us. You can enter the subscribers giveaway, potentially win yourself a free game. You can keep up with all the latest news. But do we have any predictions of who we could be seeing in that Rocket League squad? Anybody? Any idea whatsoever? I know one for definite. Who, if they haven't even been considered, I'll be very surprised. It's obviously going to be Tadpole. If he has the free time and the free space, then yes, he's got to be on that team or the squad. Sorry.
That was the one I was kind of going with. I super happy I managed to get to watch kind of all of the Rocket League tournament, and I think I said it in chat on the day that from my perspective, Tadpole was the difference between that team winning the whole tournament and not. They went into extra time, I think, 2 or 3 times in the course of the tournament, and pretty much in every single one of them, as soon as extra time started, Tadpole was right, I'm grabbing this game by the scruff of his neck, I'm putting a goal in now, and we're going through to the next round. And he kind of did that for the entire tournament.
Yeah, well, Triffleg, I can't say it. And I think that's close enough. My Welsh is horrendous. Don't judge me on it. They played extremely out their skin, and then the team that also came second, I think, was Sheed for Speed's team. I'm probably wrong. It's been over a month. I've slept since then, so I'm 100% wrong. But there's a few players that I'm definitely expecting to see in that squad once we get it finalised next, hopefully over the next few days, and then we'll be bringing that official announcement to you next week. But yeah, you're going to say something, Kieran?
I think, yeah. So I think was it DQV or DVQ?
Dave. His name is Dave. He's a COD. He's a COD pro.
Yeah, though at the same time,
he's very good at Rocket League as well.
Yeah. It's gutted, isn't it, when you've got pros that can play multiple games?
Yeah. I'm just sat here like, I wish I was good enough to go pro in one game, never mind two.
Yeah.
Because I think he was like an MMR of 1700, and that's ridiculous. And Tadpole was 1800, so he's not too far behind, and it's just insane. But yeah, so if you do want to hear about that, about that announcement, sorry. Just was reading something that popped up on my screen. Make sure you do tune in next week, same time next week, 5 PM. But before we do wrap up, there is a little bit of news about what's happening on the CSGO front this week. We have some more ESEA Open games. Tomorrow we have Team YAR taking on Grandpa Peak in their third game of the Open at 8 PM. Then followed by that we have Team Tan taking on Team Universe at 7:30 on Tuesday the 5th. Unfortunately, both of those games will not be streamed due to us not having we can't have a wide-range production team because it just gets too confusing. So the limited production team we have aren't available for those first 2 days. But this game on Wednesday, Team YAR versus the Elder League, will actually be taking place, and we will be streaming it at 6 PM. So make sure you're in chat by around 20 to 6. To get, make sure you let us know we're all here, right? Let us know that you're here to support us and the team. And then following that on Friday, we have Team Tan, who are actually playing against an all-female CSGO team. So that's certainly going to be interesting because there's not many of them. Well, obviously you've got the dedicated female leagues that are out there, but I've not personally come across in the time that I've been working with EsportsWales and the ESEA Open a female team before. So certainly going to be interesting. As you can see there, it's Friday the 8th at 7:30, so be in chat by about 7:10 when the stream will go live to come and show your support. And I think that's everything, boys. I think we did it.
Yeah,
show.
the nerves were kind of there before the start, but that now kind of, yeah, we've got through it. I'm feeling pretty good. The only thing that I kind of want to add, I mean, Shades kind of alluded to a Valorant team. That wasn't something that I knew was confirmed.
But
so
it's not,
maybe that's something to keep an eye on.
It's not confirmed just yet. Eye on that. We're looking at it. We're in the background. We're assessing where it's going. We're thinking about the game. Obviously, with it only being in beta, it's hard to put any set in stone plans. But trust me, it is in the backlines. It is being discussed within the EsportsWales team. So don't worry if you are interested in playing in a Valorant team. It could be happening further. If you do want to make sure you keep up with all of that stuff, make sure you do jump into the Discord, follow us on Twitter, follow us on all of the social medias. One other thing, if you do have any news that you think may be worthy of this EsportsWales show, make sure you send it to us over on Twitter, either in a DM or use potentially hashtag EsportsWalesWeekly if you want to, if we want to start a new hashtag. Anything that is on that hashtag will get sent to us on Twitter. I will collect and I'll look over and I'll be like, okay, that's actually a really good story. I'll put that on next week's show. And you will get credited. So if you do want to help us out and help us discover maybe some of the lesser news that we won't potentially see because we're not as deep-rooted into some of the lower, say, scenes of esports these days, because it's hard to spread everyone about everywhere and every single game and everything that's happening. It was intense just trying to me and Kieran sat down before this show and we was like, right, let's plan the next a couple of weeks of shows, and we were just like, right, we have no idea what we're going to plan about, because a lot of these things, they will come to you a couple of days before, like, oh my god, that's an amazing subject and we need to talk about it now. Whereas Valorant,
going on.
Valorant's been planned for a while, because we knew it would be a huge thing to talk about. We had a good person to bring in and talk about it, so
kind of going on from that as well is kind of in normal times you've got Belong Arena, you've got some of the other places, kind of the social gaming spaces that are open that kind of do loads of fantastic events. At the moment, in these current times, a lot of those communities are either going online or they're kind of on lockdown. So we're keen to hear really as much news. If you know something, if you see something on Twitter, maybe please kind of retweet it to us, and we'll do our investigative work.
Oh, most certainly. Fuquan, do you have any closing thoughts for everybody at home?
Really, I just want to thank you, good old Jakey Boy Pro, for bringing this back,
nothing
and
to thank,
with all the
mate.
high production
Don't
value.
thank me.
It's wonderful.
I just do what I love, and this is what I love, so, you know. Kieran, anything from you?
I just want to reiterate really what Fuquan just said.
Don't give me all the praise. I just sit here and I just press buttons and talk a little bit.
That's not true. You spent a month putting this thing
just
together.
shush. Don't make me blush now.
Just wait till it's your birthday, mate.
I've got about 6 months before that happens, so don't make me think about that. I'm 25 this year. I'm halfway to 30. Don't make me think about that.
I've got my neck though, so I'm not taking that.
But no, thank you very much to everybody in chat. Thank you to yourself, Fuquan. Thank you to Kieran. Thank you to both Shades and Nox for coming on and being our interview guests this week. Hopefully we'll be looking to get 2 more new interview guests for next week, depending on what our main topic is. Obviously, we'll hopefully be having TG on to talk about the Rocket League squad. And I think that is everything from us. So once again, thank you to everyone that's been on the show, Fuquan, Kieran, Nox and Shades. Thank you to chat, and that is it from myself, and I'll hope to see you all again next week.